What's going on, guys? Duelim here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Incursion 2 difficulties. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Incursion difficulty 2.2 to show you guys what it's going to be like when you're going through those harder difficulties. I might also do a video for 2.3, but I'm not too sure. This is what we have access to on the test account, and I'll show you guys the levels and what's working and what's not, so you guys can prep the best way possible. Kicking it off with Mystic. As you can see here on the left, I do have a pretty beefy Bifrost. It's the test server. They give us what we get. So gonna throw this in here, and the biggest one is Vol. The rest are 95. Vol is 100, and then everybody's G18, just so you guys can get kind of a comparison. It's a 2.2 million Bifrost going into node number 1. So if they're struggling, this is gonna be a problem. It is going to be bad if this Bifrost is struggling, but I don't really expect them to, honestly. I feel like this is going to go pretty straightforward. We'll see how it goes, though. All right, so we get the ult with Sylvie as per usual. And then I like to do this on Morgan Le Fay because it's big damage on her. And then I like to do this on Rogue to get the expose on a tanky character. Doesn't seem too bad so far. Phoenix is dead now. Phoenix comes back, but Beta Ray Bill's just gonna ult right away and kill her. So again, you have to remember this is a massive Bifrost. It's a 2.2 million Bifrost, but it looks like they're not even struggling that bad, honestly. I mean, Sylvie was at half health there, and now she's back to full health. So, like, doesn't look that bad. I stun the big time here because he gets his turn meter and stuff like that. I don't like that. Let's put this on Kestrel so we get another exposed out there on a big character. Let's go here on this Kestrel. So that one's dead. That one is now dead. Let's get a ult here on this Kestrel. Top off. Make sure everybody's full health. Have no issues whatsoever. Let's get a stun on this Kestrel here because obviously that one was going to take his turn faster than the Kestrel on the back left. Black Bolt's going to take a turn, I believe. Yeah. It does do a lot of damage. Look at Beta Ray Bill. That's a massive Beta Ray Bill that just got destroyed like that. So it's going to be a little bit harder for sure. The damage is definitely there, as you can see. It doesn't look too bad though. Again, this is kind of a skewed result because this Bifrost is so large, but it's going to be close to kind of what I have on the live server. I have like a 1.8 million Bifrost. Everybody's level 95. I just don't have the G18s on them, but honestly, I don't think the G18s is going to be that big of a determinant, and building up Vol to be big is pretty straightforward. I mean, you most likely going to take Vol to DD7, so it is what it is, but let's get the next node. Kicking off node number 2, we are going to have all of our cooldowns ready to go. Obviously, Sylvie is always going to ult turn 1 because she gets the energy from Loki. I like to put this special on Robbie always because it just gets a bunch of negative effects on him and we don't have issues anywhere. Put the special down the middle here. Get the ability block on everybody. Get the exposed on Archangel there. You'll see the Robbie is now dead as well, so he doesn't have an issue with the pings going out with his charge mechanic, because that can be definitely problematic. We'll just big damage ult here because why not? This gets flown through pretty quickly. Nemesis is going to basic because he's got that ability block, which is fine. And then the rest of the node is pretty lackluster. Nothing really going to happen here. The bishops are definitely way more tanky than normal. That's for sure. Usually those bishops are pretty close to death, and they are hitting pretty hard too. So there's that. I don't know if it's really noteworthy, though. I will stun this bishop so he doesn't take another turn, though. And then hit that exposed. And then I'll be stuck on the taunt from Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel here. And then I'll hit a basic and probably be good to go. I'll save this ult for the next node because it doesn't really look like we need to use it. I will get a special on Kate Bishop here because she's definitely annoying if she gets her ult off. Or her special off is turn 1. If she gets her special off, that's pretty rough. And then we'll just play into the exposed here. We'll hit primary and adjacent with this because we'll keep getting energy. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look too bad, honestly. Again, it's a bigger Bifrost, but it doesn't look that terrible. We all have a pretty big Vol, and you're not going to regret bringing Vol to DD7. So Vol is going to be definitely the way to go for this. I feel like for this section, it's just, if your team is failing, build Vol, and then build probably Beta Ray build next, because you need a big tank that also does some damage, and then just kind of manual it out from there. I don't really see much of an issue here. Again, this is only difficulty 2 though, so maybe difficulty 3 will be a little bit harder. But let's get to that boss node and see if we can one-shot it. Coming in to the boss node here, we're gonna hit the ult as usual with Sylvie. What I've been liking to do here is actually do the special on Cersei here. So she takes some damage, gets turn meter rewound as well by that Agent Coulson. What we're gonna do is actually ult turn 1 here, and I'm gonna target the Cersei here because she's got that vulnerable. So I'm gonna get an exposed on her really quickly if it doesn't get resisted, which it could. It did get resisted, so she's got a lot of resistance clearly. Now we're stuck on the 2 shield troopers in the corner, but obviously we have Beta Ray Bill ult to flip all that stuff and get some good damage in here. So now the shield troopers or the shield security, my bad. The shield securities don't have that taunt. One of them does actually, but it's not that big of a deal. That's going to get dodged, so who cares? That's also going to get dodged and immuned, so it doesn't matter. Okay, and then we can hit the special here to chain and get some good damage everywhere. And then we'll hit the special on Nova to get that ability block and exposed out on Nova, which is going to be nice. And we'll just keep hitting into that exposed, and we will pretty much just feed into that and get the win here. Obviously, we get that safeguard up. So Icarus, in case he ult, will have safeguard and all those buffs that we love, even though Team Loki will give safeguard on a Cosmic Hero turn anyway, so we don't really need it, but it is nice to have. We did have a couple dodges there, so not everybody got hit by that rewind, but it was still pretty devastating. I think Icarus is about to ult too. Yeah, he's going to ult, so it's going to do some damage. Yeah, as you can see, the damage definitely is a little rough, but we do have Death Proof and Safeguard on Sylvie and the ones who are lower, who are more vulnerable to dying there. So not too terrible as of right now. Nova is probably going to get to use his Nova Force here. It is dodged by everybody, but obviously that Nova Force is annoying. Not looking too bad, though, honestly. It looks like Vol's about to get to another ult. Morgan Le Fay getting a nice rewind on everybody, since everybody has immunity, so they don't get the buffs. That safeguard really coming in handy. I got a special from Icarus here. Again, that safeguard really coming in handy. We did get a death. We don't have a Vol ult coming up anytime soon because we haven't had any exposed out there for a while. We do have some exposed to feed into now, but it could be too late. But again, if this is the boss node, this isn't that big of a deal because you're going to have 4 other people hitting into this boss node, which is going to be really nice. So I'm honestly not too worried about this, even if I can't one-shot this. It does look more difficult, though, for sure. But you're going to have a bunch of people trying to hit into this. That's going to make it way easier and way more friendly when it comes to alliances being able to get through this. We're hitting that exposed a bunch, so we're going to get a revive real quick here from Vol, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, so we're going to get a big revive. So Beta Ray Bill is going to be back. Massive damage here, obviously. And there's that Beta Ray Bill is now back in action. Okay. We have a timeout issue at this point, which is funny. Second Sylvie ult. So Sylvie's going to ult again, get that turn meter rewind, hit everybody. Let's get a special here so we can get some more damage. Get another special to get the mind control damage out. We'll get an ult. This is going to be cutting it real close time-wise. Bifrost is definitely extremely sturdy, but the timeout issue could definitely play a factor for sure. I mean, I'm timing out with a 2.2 million team, so clearly timing out is going to be an issue for this team for sure. But they are able to get through it, so not having to use any heals is nice, but having to use extra energy is definitely a little annoying. Not ideal. We're still stuck on that taunt over here. We absolutely are going to time out here. But the good news is, like I said, everybody's pretty decently healthed out wise. If we can get some turns in here before this ends, everybody can end with relatively close to full health here. Okay, we have some low people, but we also have, they're very low as well, so we'll clean it up. Coming into the tech nodes, you see Pegasus here. They are all G18. Iron Man Infinity War is going to be the only one that's level 100, and he's oddly enough got 2 diamonds on him. The rest are G18 level 95, 0 diamonds, so pretty comparable to what most people have on the live test server. I think it's just going to come down to Kestrel and also Iron Man Infinity War just being there. I don't even think he needs to do good damage, and then just rescue surviving and being able to revive people. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to be helpful. For this node, you can see here, I'm just going to target the Weaver special with Kestrel. You can see they definitely don't take as much damage as they used to, and my Iron Heart almost got one shot, which happens quite often. So we'll stun the Gambit so we get those pings out of the way. Then we will get an ult to get some heals out there. We'll get another ult here. And that ult does massive, massive damage, which is really, really nice. Obviously, that's going to be a big help to get through these nodes a lot faster. Let's go here. Shield security, because I don't like when he's using his reflexive taunt and everything. It's very annoying. Let's get a special here. Okay, we'll get a special again so we can get some barrier. It's looking like Pegasus is still flying through this. Who would have thunk? This does not look bad at all. Not bad in the least. Oh, I don't have auto basic, so I can't do that. We'll just basic out from here. So super easy, super straightforward. Pegasus absolutely cleans house on this. And honestly, I feel like this is the first raid team that people don't feel as bad to build because they are such a good team outside of just raids. They've been really good in Cosmic Crucible. Kestrel's obviously a plug-and-play monster. They've been pretty good in War as well. So let's see the second node and see what we can keep going with. All right, kicking off node 2, you'll see we are just specialing on the farther inside Absorbing Man here to make sure there's more defense downs on people. We're going to hit the ult with Ironheart Mark II. Again, I use her as Skirmisher. I think her Skirmisher is better for her, so there's no resistance issues, because there have been a lot of resistance issues with just with raids in general, so I like her as Skirmisher. We're going to hit the big ult. Obviously, it's going to do a lot of damage because that's a massive Iron Man Infinity War, so your results will absolutely vary. We're going to hit the ult with Darkhawk. Again, I think Pegasus is just going to roll these nodes no matter what, honestly. I don't really think any sort of difficulty slider, unless it's absolutely unruly, is going to affect Pegasus whatsoever because of just how good of a team they really are, especially in raids. There's no stopping them, honestly. They're just menaces. I'm just gonna stick over here on the Omega Reds because the Omega Reds are obviously problematic, and then I'm just gonna play off Kestrel pings and let Kestrel ping everybody down. But you can see that they do some damage. You can see that Absorbing Man almost one-shot my fully built out Iron Man Infinity War, which is absolutely hilarious. But once you get one of the Omega Red's ability block, just focus down the other one, and then you won't have that much of an issue finishing out the rest of them. Obviously, Omega Red basicking is no big deal. I'm going to hit the ult again so we can get some big damage and not have to worry about anybody. hitting any abilities, and then we will just basic from here on out, and then it's over. So super straightforward. They're still doing great things. Pegasus does not look like that much of an issue, honestly. They look like they handle the nodes pretty well. I know a lot of people have them built up, especially people who are going to be doing difficulty 2.3. So I don't think Pegasus is going to have much of an issue, but let's see how we do in the boss node. Kicking off the boss node, we're going to use the special over here on Sylvie. I like being able to start focusing down this clump here because they got a lot of issues putting out negative effects and all that good stuff. That left side there is just the taunters and everything like that. So I like to control this right side and then start working on the left once the reflexive taunts pop. Obviously, we're just going to hit big buttons here because everybody's got their abilities, because they are a great team who have batteries and everything like that. So you never have to worry about cooldowns with Pegasus. We're going to rewind everybody here. It's going to get a bunch of speed on my team. I'm also going to ult the Cosmo here because Cosmo can be problematic. Usually that one-shots him on normal difficulties, but obviously this is a little bit harder. But getting those pings on Cosmo now are going to be nice because he's going to die before he gets to clear things and do a bunch of nasty stuff. We'll get the special on this side here. So you see the right side's either dead or controlled, and now the left side is going to just be taunting. So what you can do here is just basic from here just to get your cooldowns back up before the next wave drops. Because obviously you want to have some cooldowns ready to go, but I'm just hitting big buttons and going for it. A little frozen here because the test server being the test server. I do want to put a defense down on the Drax over here so I can be able to focus down the next taunter, get a nice defense down on there, not have to worry about being stuck and not being able to get some Kestrel pings. Gonna ult again here. See, we're getting some good damage on most everybody. These three are pretty tanky here, but we're going to be able to take out the shield minion real quick and then start working on the healer, who is obviously Squirrel Girl, and she could be problematic and annoying. She's probably going to special here. She does. I'm curious to see how much damage that Thor Infinity War would do if we're allowed to let him ult. We get the ult here, so we get a stun on pretty much everybody. This is going to be the time to make sure that Dazzler is going to be controlled as well, because Dazzler can clear things from, I believe it's just X-Men allies, but I don't want her clearing anything, period. So I'm going to put an ability block on her, and then I'm going to focus down the Iron Man Infinity War, and this is pretty much over. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, man. This is a level 95 Pegasus too, and I'm assuming most people, everybody's taking Kestrel up pretty much to 100, and then the rest of Pegasus, even if they're at 95, you obviously won't have any issues. But this team has no issues whatsoever, just flying through all the tech nodes. So let's figure out how Mutant does. Kicking off the Mutant nodes, you'll see here that we do have full extreme. They're all G18, which a lot of people have done because they are a really good team. But you can see here that they are only level 95, so there are no level 100s on this team here. So this is going to be a good test for extreme to see how well they actually do in the Mutant nodes, and if you really need to get to level 100 to be able to do this. I really don't think you will, honestly. This team is really, really good, especially in raids. They're incredible outside of raids too, honestly. I really don't think we're going to have any issues with this whatsoever, but you never know. There could be some surprises. We may not be able to land some stuns like normal, whatever it might be. I'm just going to play this like I normally played it when I first got the extreme team and I wanted to have some fun. It's just essentially all the big buttons and just go. Just go. Let's see. Let's get a special on Gwenpool because we don't want her using her special. Obviously, the Dormammu is going to be a little bit of a factor here. I'm going to make sure we get some good damage on Quicksilver here because he's probably going to end up taking a turn as well. He is rewinding that Cyclops, hitting him pretty hard. He's going to hit that Cyclops once again, and he's back up to full health. So you can see they're definitely a lot tankier than we're used to. That is for sure. But it doesn't look like they're going to be unmanageable. It just looks like it's going to be a little bit of a slog, and simming probably won't be beneficial to do. So I would not recommend using that sim button if you're going to be going against Incursion 2.2 or if you get up to 2.3. because it looks definitely pretty rough to sim, which I'm okay with. I like playing the nodes. They're fun. Let's play them. That's why we play the game. We don't play it just to sim it. Massive ult from Nightcrawler there. And then we're just going to keep on keeping on here. Let's get this on Quicksilver there. So Quicksilver is going to take some good damage. I know obviously Quicksilver is about to pop off here. Hopefully we can kill him real quick with this Sunspot ult. Not even close. But it was worth a shot, and then we'll special on him. Maybe he'll take good enough damage, and he can get some pings, but he's about to ult my face off. But I do have Safeguard, so he's not going to pull off all those buffs and the death proofs and everything. And then you see, so that ult just did nothing, honestly. That ult did absolutely nothing. We still have charges on my Gambit, so we can keep getting those speed ups. Their Cap Sam is going to ult here, but he's going to miss everybody, so he's just going to give speed to everyone. Doesn't seem too bad. It really doesn't. It's not too shabby at all. My Cyclops is suffering a little bit here. Got all of his death proofs ripped off. He might die. Yeah, he's going to die here. But I do believe I'm going to have an ult pretty quick. So I'm not too worried, honestly. Okay, we'll get another, let's get a special here to hit everybody. But you can see Extreme is definitely suffering a little bit here. Even at all G18, even at pretty good investment, they're starting to struggle a little bit here. You can see, I have a dead Cyclops. I have, Forge was a little low there. They're not immune here. They definitely were struggling a little bit, but they are getting through it. So I'm not too worried about it. Again, it is what it is. If I got to play it manually and I got to slog through it every day, it's not a big deal. I know personally my Extreme is definitely bigger than this because of their use in Cosmic Crucible. So I built them a lot, honestly, and I suggest you do too, because their uses are awesome. And obviously the first node is always the hardest with this team as well, because they have the issue of not having those charges on Sunspot right off rip. So they don't have all that extra damage that they should be getting. That's going to be a big factor as well for this. But they did get through it. So we're going to finish this off, and then we will get into the next node. I'll probably use the ult from Forge here to make sure that we get a revive on Cyclops, so I don't have to use any of my cooldowns here, or any of my revives, any of my heals or anything. So he's back up, and then everybody's going to spawn with full health because of that Sunspot. Coming into node 2, you see we didn't have to use any heals. I'm just gonna do the special here on Weaver like I normally do to get that stun out right off rip. And you see Nightcrawler doing a bunch of damage here. I'm gonna use the ult from Sunspot and get some big damage on everybody, get that striker attack on Weaver, and then I am going to use a big ult here. He's got 24 charges, so he should do pretty well. And you see big damage ult here. We'll ult again because honestly, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna have the charges on Sunspot to give energy when at the beginning of the next node. So it really doesn't matter what we do here. We're all gonna spawn with full energy anyway. So let it fly. Node 2 clearly not bad at all. But the boss node's definitely gonna be where I'm curious to see how they're gonna work. Use Cyclops and the dumbest special known to mankind. Let's give everybody taunt, but then let's make it so another character, I think it's Sunspot, passive, makes it so they can't gain taunt. Real smart there, Scopely. Good job. Real proud of you. But anyway, you'll see this one went super quick here. First node was a little rough because you got to build those charges to get that extra damage. Second node was absolute cakewalk. Kicking off the boss node, I think this is going to be the biggest test for Extreme here to see how well they do. Like I said, we have those full charges on Sunspot, so we start off with the ult, and let's see how much gets pulled off. A lot, pretty much everything got pulled off, which is great. That's going to be the biggest thing, is those buffs getting pulled off, because if not, then they'll counterattack a bunch, and then that's definitely a problem. So being able to pull off all those buffs off rip, so they're not able to use all the counterattacks against us and just absolutely annihilate us. We're just going to hit all the big buttons here and just wipe this first wave real quick, because we don't want any issues whatsoever. Cyclops has 31 charge. Let's let it fly. And he does actually pretty decent damage. That wasn't terrible. let's get the ult over here on Iron Fist World War II so we can make sure he's taking some good damage. We got the Darkhold members. We got the Bishop coming in. Let's see what I want to do here. Beta Ray Bill, he's not going to ult turn 1. He is going to ult turn 1. He's going to ult, which is aggravating. Let's get a stun on him. And then that Iron Fist, we might be able to get a turn before that Iron Fist World War II in the back goes. We do, which is great. I'm going to ability block him because I don't want that nasty heal, the stun, all that nasty stuff to come on here. Let's get an ability block on the Morgan. Bold of me to assume that would land. Let's get a special here because we call in the assists, which will help. And we are going to have some issues from the Darkhold members starting to take turns, but not the worst thing in the world. Let's start working over here. Darkhold's going to start taking turns here. So this is what I figured was going to happen. Now we're going to get stuck behind the Wong taunt. Cosmo's going to start doing things. Nakia's going to start doing things. So this is where the team is really going to start struggling, and where I figured they were going to start struggling, honestly. It's going to be interesting to see how big they need to be to really get through this easily. But like I said, with the Mystic nodes, even if there's, you know, 4 people that have to hit the boss node to get through it, so what? You're still getting through it. That's what the boss node is for. The boss node should be hard. It should be hard to get through. It should take the whole alliance to get through it. I like that, honestly. I think it's cool. Let's just keep getting some even damage everywhere. Let's get a basic here. Get some bleeds. Get a striker attack as well. Get a Nightcrawler, anything. Let's see if this lands. Probably not. Oh, it did! No special from Morgan, which is really nice. Okay, cool. We got 2 minutes left, so the clock could be a factor here. That's for sure. Let's make sure he doesn't do anything, because that's going to be rough. Oh, goodbye, Sunspot. Pleasure knowing you. Do I have an ult? Let's hope I have an ult from Forge. I do not. Might want to save that instead of just hitting big buttons like I've been doing. Gambit not pinging here is also not great. And then you see this is where it's going to start falling apart here. Yeah, this is really going to start falling apart here now. But it's, you know, it is what it is. These, you know, they're small. It's G18, level 95 only. This team definitely should be level 100 for these raids to make this way more palatable. Because if not, you're seeing the result of them not being big enough to handle this. They're getting absolutely wiped. So let's see how bio section does, and then we'll get into our lovely, lovely skill section. Coming into the bio nodes, we've got Hivemind, and they are the newest raid team, so I expect them to absolutely donkey stomp this. They are all level 100 G18, not by my choice. I'm sorry. I wish I could have tested them at lower levels to see how big they would really need to be, but I don't have a choice on what's built on this account because it was just given to me. It was just large. It is what it is. So this ones are going to be super straightforward, honestly. I'm probably going to absolutely destroy these nodes, and it's just going to be complete and auto sim fest, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But even on the live server, as long as your Hivemind is pretty well kitted, I don't see any issues whatsoever. You're going to see some massive damage from Red Goblin here. Yeah, you'll see they're just taking some really big damage. And I'm just going to keep getting the speed, and it is what it is. So I'm probably going to fast forward through all this because there's really nothing to see here. So yeah. Coming into node number 2, obviously, still Hivemind, still node 2. This is just gonna get slapped. There's no issues here, I'm assuming, after how well node 1 went. But I will just play it out for a minute, see if there's gonna be any issues whatsoever. Once again, I absolutely doubt it. We're going to get, obviously, all the big damage here, and then I'll get the special, get the trauma on Quicksilver, so he can't steal the, or can't clear the stun. And then we'll just go here, hit this clump over here, and yeah, I'm going to throw this on auto and fast forward. Coming in with the Bio Boss node, I'm going to full sim this to see if we are able to just full out sim it with a team that's this big. So I'm going to fast forward and let's see if we can full sim it. Kicking off the skill nodes, I expect this to go absolutely horribly. I don't know any of the strats to get through skill at the highest level right now because honestly, I don't care enough to. So I took invaders all the way to level 100, G18 for this test account, and I'm going to see what they're able to do. There are no diamonds on this team, and they were about 2.4 million from what I saw. From what I remember, the last time I did skill, I remember the node 1 was not that bad actually at all. Node 1 was surprisingly easy, but I'm curious how much harder it gets now that with the difficulty increase. As you can see, the counterattacks are absolutely shredding these people. So yeah, I'm gonna get a nice little stun on Archangel here, and then we're gonna have Gwenpools absolutely rail us. Here it comes. There's the special from Gwenpool. Yup. Hey, guess what? Who wants another special from Gwenpool? I do. There goes my healer, and my whole team is freaking dead. Like, what a great team. What a great team. Invaders are absolutely incredible. We're going to try this again. Maybe we'll try to stun one of the Gwenpools. I don't know. But my healer's dead, so we're going to try again. We're gonna try again. So let's do the same thing we did. We need the minions, I'm assuming. We did get 2 of the shield minions as well, so we could stun somebody, which is nice. We have to pull this taunt off here. Let's see. Can we get an assist that ends up stunning, putting a slow so I get stunned? No, not at all. Let's do that. Oh, cool. Archangel goes now. That's fun. Yeah, let's get rewound. Woo! I guess I'll stun this Gwen. Okay. Let's stun the Gwen. So there's only 1 Gwen special coming out now. That doesn't seem as bad, does it? It does when your healer gets focused. Stop! How do people do this crap, dude? This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. This should be illegal. This should be not allowed. This is horrible. For any of you people willing, I'm going to go full screen. For any of you people willing to put yourself through skill, I really hope you get Mephisto faster, and I hope you are just wiping your tears with your Mephisto, because if you're willing to do skill for the next however many months until Scopely decides it's time to give us a skill team, good luck. I hope your invaders are 2.7 million, and I hope you have no gold to build anything else. That's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.